You ever sit in a room and just know something's off? That weird electric buzz, like everyone's holding their breath but pretending not to care? That was the courthouse that morning, except, instead of nerves, what filled the air was this cocky laughter coming from the defense table. 3 cops, all decked out like they owned the place, Mike Reynolds, Greg Carter, and Tom Willis, lounged back, trading inside jokes and grinning like this was all some big joke. The judge gave his gavel a lazy tap. Case dismissed. Boom! Cheers broke out from the officer's side, like they'd just won the lottery, and Mike clapped Greg on the back, saying, "Another day, another win." Greg just smirked. They really thought they could take us down, and Tom, shaking his head, went, "Man, I love this job." That was their whole thing. You know, for months, maybe years, these guys were getting away with every dirty trick in the book. Racial profiling, roughing up folks who just wanted to get home to their families, planting evidence like it was nothing, and every time someone tried to hold them accountable, some bigwig would make the evidence disappear or scare off a key witness, and boom, case closed. But right when they started swaggering toward the exit, feeling untouchable, those big double doors swung open, and in walks this guy, sharp suit, the kind of posture that makes you straighten up just watching him, and eyes so intense you'd swear he could see right through you. Everybody froze. The judge cleared his throat, trying to sound important. "Before we adjourn, I have an announcement. The city has appointed a new chief of police. Please welcome Chief Jamal Brooks." Now, that's when the room really went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Mike, Greg, and Tom just stopped in their tracks. Jamal Brooks, the same black man those 3 had once dragged out of his car for a broken taillight, cuffed in front of his daughter, tossed in the back of their squad car, and laughed about it over takeout that night. And now, he was their boss. Jamal stepped forward, calm as you like. "Gentlemen, I look forward to working with you." Mike's face went pale, Greg looked like he'd swallowed a lemon, and Tom just clenched his fists, knuckles turning white. Next morning, you'd have thought someone died at the precinct. The usual backslapping and inside jokes? Gone. Everyone was whispering about the new chief. Jamal showed up in his crisp uniform, badge shining under those harsh lights, and when he walked into the room, the officers stood up straighter, like they finally remembered what respect looked like. Jamal called out, "Reynolds, Carter, Willis." Those 3 flinched like kids caught cheating on a test, but they shuffled forward. Greg forced a smile. "Chief Brooks, great to have you here." Jamal tilted his head, like, "Is it, though?" Mike stammered, "Yeah, absolutely. We're ready to serve under your leadership." Jamal didn't even crack a smile. He just placed this fat folder on the table. Their names were stamped on it. Every complaint, every accusation, every piece of dirt they buried, all sitting right there in black and white. Tom's hands got sweaty. "Chief, listen," Jamal cut him off, voice cold. "Save it. You've abused your power long enough." Greg was wiping sweat off his brow, trying to come up with some excuse, but Jamal was done listening. "You weren't following the law. You were following corruption, greed, and racism. That ends today." He folded his arms, and I swear, you could feel the walls closing in on those guys. "Effective immediately, you're all suspended. There's an internal investigation, and no, you don't get to skip it." Mike's jaw dropped. Tom looked like he wanted to punch a wall, and Greg tried to protest, but nobody was listening. The rest of the officers just stared, some nodding, others maybe realizing it could have been them. Within 2 weeks, word spread like wildfire. Chief Brooks wasn't bluffing. He tore into those old case files, and what he found was even worse than anyone guessed. False arrests, illegal searches, money missing from evidence, and a trail of fear stretching back years. The whole city got mad. Folks who'd been too scared to speak up before started coming forward, sharing stories about nights in jail for crimes they didn't commit, bruises that never healed right, lives that got turned upside down over nothing. Journalists sniffed out more dirt. Protesters lined up outside the courthouse, and suddenly, the cops who thought they were untouchable found themselves getting dragged in front of the same judge they used to mock. This time, no high fives, no grins, no lawyer tricks. The prosecutor laid out the charges: misconduct, abuse of power, falsifying evidence, and yeah, multiple counts of racial discrimination. The courtroom was packed so tight, you couldn't move. Journalists scribbling notes, activists holding signs, people just hoping, maybe for the first time, that something good could actually come out of all this. The judge, a new one, not part of the old system, stared those 3 down and said, "How do you plead?" Mike tried to bluff, "Not guilty." Greg's voice shook. "This is a setup." The prosecutor didn't even flinch. "We have the video. We have sworn statements. We have everything. The jury was out less than an hour. When they came back, the verdict was clear as day, guilty on all counts. The courtroom erupted, clapping, people hugging, some crying, and this feeling, like maybe justice wasn't just a word people tossed around anymore. The officers were handcuffed right there. Greg tried to glare at Jamal. You set us up. But Jamal just looked back, cool as ever. No, you set yourselves up. I just let the truth out. Mike muttered something bitter about being back, but Jamal met his stare, steady as a rock. No, you won't. As the doors slammed shut behind them, you could feel the whole city breathe out, like a long nightmare was finally ending. But you and I both know, stories like this don't just tie up neat and pretty. Sure, Jamal Brooks cleaned house, but the scars those three left? They don't fade overnight. Some folks say justice was finally served. Others think it's just a start, and there are still people out there, good cops and bad, wondering what happens when the truth finally sees daylight. So here's what I want to know. Where do you stand? Was this real justice, or just payback dressed up in a suit and tie? Does it fix anything, or just give us one victory lap before the next fight? Let me know what you think. What would you have done, sitting in Jamal's chair, holding the whole system in your hands? Drop your thoughts below, because, trust me, this conversation's not over yet.